Hey guys, welcome back to Pro Gun Live. Today is Saturday, June 7th, 2025, and this is our weekly live chat. I'll give people some time to join. And I did start this a few minutes early. We normally start this at 12 o'clock noon. And don't be shy. Feel free to type in your comments or say hello to everyone. And as always, this live chat is for you guys. Any firearms or accessories you want to discuss or make comments about, please feel free to enter your comments in the chat. Today in Tennessee. And hello to you there, Soldier Scott. Thank you for joining. Appreciate that. So today, I got my hands on a Savage 1911 government model. And I'm a huge fan of 45 ACP, and I love 1911s. And I got to tell you, that Savage is sweet. I will be doing a review sometime this weekend, and I will also be comparing it to my Colt government model. That's a really tough decision. I like them both, but I got to tell you, I'm really impressed by the Savage 1911. It probably won't have the same resale value as the Colt, but it is a gorgeous gun. So keep on the lookout for that review. I also have a Remington 7600 pump action 3006 I'll be reviewing this weekend. And I have a bunch of other items that I have reviewed already. I just haven't released a video. And hello to you, Barbara. And again, these live streams are for you guys. This is where you get to ask your questions or enter your own topics of conversation. And as long as it's firearms related, we'll answer them. This is a great way to learn because everybody doesn't know everything, but everyone knows something. And I'm happy to announce that Gun Owner of America is having their convention in August, and it will be in Knoxville, Tennessee. So we will definitely be attending that. Gun Owners of America is a great organization that doesn't settle or compromise on our Second Amendment rights. And Thumper Dumper, that is a good question about a suppressed 300 blackout. Actually, the 300 blackout is made to be suppressed. It shoots better suppressed, and if you get the subsonic ammo for that 300 blackout, you'll barely hear it. I'm not really a rifle guy, but I have a few AR-15s, and I don't know, about 6 months ago, when I was doing another build, I decided to build a 300 blackout pistol, and I like it a lot. I like that I could use the uh, 5.56 magazines with it, and I got the complete upper from Bear Creek Arsenal for, I was well under $200. Couldn't beat it at that price. And not only that, at that price, it also included the bulk carrier group. And good morning to you, Mr. HO661. Glad to have you with us. Yeah, I like that 300 blackout there, Dumper. Probably like that better than the 5.56. Ammo's a little bit more expensive, but it's a nice round. And again, for those who are joining for the first time, I'd appreciate it if you subscribe to our channel. I'm only 130 subscribers away from reaching 6,000 subscribers. My goal is 10,000 by the end of the year. Probably going to be a little short on that, but you have to have a goal, so that's my goal. Also, if you can watch and comment and share our videos, we get ranked higher in the search engines. That gives us more revenue to purchase more firearms to review. And I appreciate that. I try as hard as I can. Fight for our Second Amendment rights every day. I try to bring you guys informative reviews on products that are good products and not so good products. My reviews are very honest. If it's not a good product, I'll tell you it's not a good product. People don't get a pass just because they sent me a product to review. The one thing I want to talk about is dry fire training. Surprisingly, a lot of people don't dry fire train. And I'm just curious how many of you guys do practice dry fire training, because it's very important. Dry fire training is actually where you do your best training. You do all your heavy lifting when you practice dry fire training, and the only thing you're doing at the range is validating that your training method works by putting holes in paper. And there's a lot of things that you can do at home when you dry fire train that you can't do at a range. For instance, moving forward and backwards and sideways and shooting from the ground and kneeling. I even practiced, dry fire training sitting in the car. You should practice dry fire training when you're sitting in the living room watching TV. That should all be part of your plan on what happens if you're watching TV and somebody busts through the front door. Yeah, once a week is definitely not enough. And I got to tell you, the great thing about dry fire training is that it costs no money. It's safe. You could do it anywhere. And there's no excuse for not doing it. I mean, I get it. You can't always get to the range. It's just not convenient. Maybe you can't afford to spend the money on ammo. And even if you could, like during the pandemic, build your muscle memory. I will be doing a series of videos on dry fire training, starting with an introduction, as well as the different methods. I probably have every dry fire training product that there is. And I use them regularly. And the nice thing about dry fire training is that you will immediately start improving. And it's just important. There's a lot of people that, just go out and buy a gun and get a holster and put it on their hip, and like magic, they think it's going to protect them. And kudos to your grandpa there, Thumper. I'm a little disappointed in Mantis. Mantis has a new product they sent me to review, and it's called the Titan. And I love the product. I reviewed it. They were supposed to release it in early May, and they changed the go live date on it. So I can't show it to you, but it's definitely a game changer. And I'm very excited about it. And I contact them regularly, hoping that, they'll release it soon, because this is a product that will definitely change the way you dry fire train. And for those of you that are fans of long guns, you may want to check out the Mantis Blackbeard X. And the Blackbeard X is a great tool for AR-15s. You basically pull out your bolt carrier group, you insert the Blackbeard X, and it gives you a resettable trigger. So you don't have to keep pulling the charging handle every time. And it shoots a red or green laser, and it works with Mantis Laser Academy. And the best part is that it's got Mantis X technology built in. And to all the people who just joined, feel free to type in comments or whatever. And hello to you too, Ray. Good to see you again as well. Appreciate you guys spending time with me on Saturday afternoons. I know you can be doing a lot better things than this, so I appreciate you coming here and joining our live stream. I love having the interaction with you guys. We always have a good dialogue, and there's good questions going back and forth. And, I can't answer everything. And if I can't answer it, I'll tell you I can't answer it, and I'll get the answer for you. But by having all you guys on this live stream, a lot of you guys have been helping each other out and answering questions, and I like to see that. A lot of the larger channels, they don't take the time out to acknowledge the little guy, and I like doing that. I mean, my channel has grown substantially because of you guys, and if it wasn't for you guys, I wouldn't even have this channel. So thank you all for that. Yeah, snacks are always a good thing, right? And I'm a fat guy, so you can tell I do my share of snacks. And for those who just joined, in case you missed it earlier, I just got my hands on a Savage 1911 45 ACP. And man, that is one sweet gun. I like that a lot. I compared it to my Colt. And it's really tough to decide. And I'll be doing a review of the Savage, and then I'll also be doing a comparison between the two of them. As I've said on my earlier streams, I have way too many 9mm, so I won't be getting any more of those. But I do love the 1911s and the revolvers, especially because I hate every time you get a new gun, you got to get a new holster, and you got to have more magazines. And every time you go to the range, it's a pain in the ass because you left the wrong magazines home. At least with a 1911, no matter what make or model it is, as long as the caliber is the same, magazines work in all of them, holster works in all of them. And I like the revolvers because I don't have to worry about magazines. So I think in the future, I'm going to, at least for the short term, just stick with 1911s and revolvers. I have always wanted a lever action rifle, and that's in the works one day. I have it narrowed down between the Marlin and the Henry, and I will get it chambered in 357 Magnum because I have a boatload of 357 Magnum ammo. And I'm sorry, Ray, I have not heard of Grand Power, so I can't really speak about it. Like I said, if I don't know, I'll tell you I don't know. I'm not going to just make up shit. But if there's anyone else out there that has experience, feel free to answer. That's another reason we do this live stream, so that we can learn and share with each other. And another nice thing about the dry fire training is it doesn't matter if it rains. It's been raining a lot here in Tennessee, so um, it kind of stunts the training. Most of the ranges I like going to are outdoor ranges only, and it's too wet for that, but nothing's stopping you from training at home. In some of my dry fire drills, I was going to do a video on uh, sweeping a room, but I decided not to. I really don't think it's a good idea for people to do that. That's what the police are for. They're trained to do it. And when the police sweep a room, they use more than one person. And in my opinion, sweeping a room by yourself is just dangerous. Um, if you are out and you come home and you see your front door open, I wouldn't go rushing into the house trying to sweep the rooms by myself. Stay outside and call law enforcement. Yeah, Mr. HO661. I have the Smith & Wesson FPC. I bought it a couple months ago, and it is awesome. I love it. Um, I had a Keltec Sub 2000, which honestly, for what I paid for it, it was okay. But if you put it side by side with the Smith & Wesson FPC, the Keltec Sub 2000 is really cheesy and cheap. Um, I'm a huge 10 millimeter fan, and when I bought my M&P FPC, I bought it in 9 millimeter because the 10 millimeter didn't exist yet. And I probably should have waited because I would have got it in 10. I'm almost tempted to trade in my 9 millimeter for the 10, but we have a lot of 9 millimeter ammo and it's cheap to shoot. And maybe I'll just get the 10 as an addition. I probably won't get rid of the 9. GP is a Slovak gun. Let me tell you, there's nothing wrong with Slovak guns, guns made in Croatia or Czechoslovakia. I mean, when CZ bought Colt, the quality of the Colt actually has gone up. I mean, before Colt sold out to CZ, the quality was really going downhill. And CZ is just a great company. I have a CZ and 45 ACP, and I love the CZ guns, especially the Shadows. And again, guys, don't be shy. If you have a comment, this is where to leave them. If you have questions, enter them. If I can't answer them, somebody here will. Or if I don't have the answer, I'll get it for you and answer you privately. I know some people just don't like asking questions, but no such thing as a dumb question. It's worse than not answering. It's worse than not asking. I mean, that's how you learn. And again, feel free to say hello to everyone out there. It only shows me how many people are on the call. It doesn't show me who's here. So I can't acknowledge people unless they type something in and I see their name. Also, if I miss your question, I apologize for that. I have a hard time trying to scroll through the comments here and answer questions while I'm looking at the screen, but I will get to them. And how you doing there, Adrian? Good to have you again, brother. Been a while. Adrian, you just joined. Look out for my review of the Savage 1911 in 45 ACP. Man, that thing is sweet. It's a close call between that and my Colt. I'd probably give the nod to the Colt, but that Savage is really a nice gun. Yeah, that sounds like rust to me, Ray. What kind of gun is it? Is the barrel stainless? I mean, do you have do you keep it in a gun safe? Is there a lot of moisture and condensation? In my gun safe, I have the anti-moisture pouches I keep in there. Um, Another thing people do when they go out and they buy a gun, they keep all their guns in the gun case, and that is the worst thing you can do for rust. Condensation builds up in there. As soon as I get my gun, I take it out of the case, I put the case away, and I put the gun in the gun safe with the anti-moisture packets. But that sounds like rust. Try cleaning the barrel. I also would avoid water, but try cleaning the barrel and on the outside, just lightly put a little bit of oil on the outside. Never put oil inside the barrel. But it sounds like a rust problem to me. And also, does it go away and then come back? Because if it does, then that probably is rust or oxidation. Yeah, and when you shoot it and it disappears, yeah, that's because all of the pressure and friction of the bullet going through the barrel is just going to blow all that crap out. But depending on how caked up it is, I'd keep an eye on that because even a thousandth of an inch could make a difference when you're firing live ammo out of the gun. And hello to you too there, Little Big Town. Welcome to the Pro Gun live stream. If you're new to the live stream, we do this every Saturday at 12 noon Eastern. I love the collaboration I have with my subscribers and viewers. And yes, I do love Trump. Matter of fact, if you've watched my videos, you probably see my picture of Trump in the background of almost all of my videos. And I am hoping that Trump is going to make concealed carry reciprocity national. Yeah, well, everybody has their own opinion on that, and I try not to get political. And hello to you too, Moses. Welcome to the live chat. And hello there, Michael. Yes, if you're new to this, we do our live streams every Saturday at 12 noon Eastern. And I would appreciate it if everyone that's new to the live stream subscribes to the channel. And like I said, this stream is for you guys. We do this so that we can share information about guns. Ask questions. Like I said, I may not have all of the answers, but if I don't have the answer, I will get it for you. And if I don't know, I will tell you I don't know. I won't just make up stuff. And again, if I miss your question, I apologize for that. It's not intentional. I'm trying to read through all of the chats on my laptop while I'm doing this, and every once in a while it'll scroll by too fast and I'll miss something. You know something, Ray? I would contact the manufacturer about that, and maybe you can just send them the barrel, and they can replace it. Yeah, I agree with you, Michael. You don't build the ark after it starts raining. Fortunately, I started reloading right before the pandemic, and it was only because a friend of mine sent me a RCBS rock chucker, single stage press, and I already had primers and powder, um, brass, and bullets. And back then, primers were about $40 for a box of 1,000. Now they're about 100, and they've come down. I've seen them during the pandemic as high as $200 a box. But yes, even though the components are expensive, the point about reloading isn't always just to save money. It's that you'll always have ammo. I'm a big fan of 10 millimeter, and there's times I go to my local gun shop and I don't see 10 millimeter ammo for months at a time. So at least reloading them, I always have them. I just reloaded about 2,000 rounds of 357 Magnum. But I did a video not too long ago about reloading, and if you're just starting out now and you're buying the primers and you're buying the brass and the powder and the equipment, I mean, you have to load about 5,000 rounds just to break even. But again, it's not really just for saving money. Part of it is experimenting. You shoot 10 millimeter or 357, you want to experiment with a hotter load, you can do that. But more importantly, it's always there. I was thinking of getting being that you reload, I was thinking of getting a brass cleaner, maybe an ultrasonic, but I'm not sure it's worth the money. I mean, from everything I read, all the brass cleaners really do is make the brass look pretty. You don't really need to clean it. And another thing about reloading that they just started over the past couple of years is now they charge a hazmat fee, which they never did before. And it's like 30, 35 bucks. And, I finally find the powder that I want on sale. And by the time you add a $30 or $35 hazmat fee, that $20 bottle of powder is now $60. Just ridiculous. What kind of press do you have, Michael? I'm just curious. I have a RCBS Rock Chucker single stage, and I'd really love to have a uh, multi-stage press, but I can't justify spending, uh, you know, $700-800 on it. And to answer your question, Ray, to be honest with you, something just doesn't sound right about that barrel. Doesn't sound safe. I if it was me, I would get rid of it. And hello to you, Carl. Again, if I miss anyone out there, I apologize. While I'm doing this, I try to read the messages that people type, and it scrolls by so fast. Sometimes I miss things. And no problem there, Ray. That's what we're here for. That's the great part I love about this live stream is that we all learn from each other. We all have questions, and sometimes we're looking for answers. And if one person can't answer it, somebody else can. I really value the camaraderie I have with my subscribers and viewers. It's a lot of fun. I really enjoy doing this. So you guys make this all worthwhile. I love all you guys. And for those of you who are new, please subscribe to our channel. I'd greatly appreciate that. Like our videos and share them. Leave comments. The more comments and shares there are, the higher our video ranks in the search engine, the more revenue we generate, and that allows us to purchase more firearms to review. I'm just a small guy here. I can't afford to buy guns on a regular basis out of my own pocket. So all the guns that I do buy are all as a result of the monetization for your support. So I thank you all. I'll get right with you there, Big Daddy. Ray, okay, so how should you store them? I have I'll get right to you there, Big Daddy. 1 second. For storing your guns, Ray, what I do is I have metal, I have metal gun racks in my safe so that, there's air and the guns could breathe. And I have anti-moisture packets that I put in the safe. And I have zero problems with condensation. I mean, you may also want to put like a mini dehumidifier in there if that's really the problem. If it's only that one gun, it could just be something wrong with the barrel. If you start seeing that on more than one gun, it's probably condensation in your safe. We live in Tennessee. It's very humid here. So I always keep those moisture packs in the safe. And okay there, Big Daddy, go ahead with your question. And I usually run this live stream. And Big Daddy, no, I am not single. And my wife is a avid shooter as well. Yeah, that's what I would do, Ray. I would just get those humidity packets. And Big Daddy looks like you're going to have to go away. So every once in a while we get a wise ass, but that's okay. They're welcome too. And for those who missed it earlier, um, Gun Owners of America is having their convention in Knoxville, Tennessee in August. And fortunately, that's about an hour away, so we'll definitely be attending that. Gun Owners of America does a great job defending our Second Amendment rights, and they don't sell us out. In my opinion, they do much more for us than the NRA does. I'm not really that happy with the NRA, even though I'm still a member. But I'm only a member of the NRA just to keep my instructor certification going. But we need organizations like that. And hello to Little Town Band, Little Big Town Band. Hello to you. And for those who are new and haven't been on this stream before, we do these streams every Saturday at 12 noon. And this is a chance to interact with each other, share information, ask questions. This stream is for you guys. And hello to you, Juan. Welcome to the Pro Gun live stream. Glad to have you. Yeah, to answer your question there, Michael, yeah, there are some new guns I want to get. I just got my hands on a Savage 1911 45 ACP. I'm looking at the Ruger SR 1911. I have the Smith & Wesson FPC in 9mm, and now they have one in 10mm. So I'll probably wind up doing that, and maybe another revolver. Yeah, revolvers are king. I get that, and I'm not getting into a pissing match with you over this. There is no right or wrong way to carry. People carry the way they're comfortable. I do both, but I don't tell anyone how they should be carrying. As long as people are carrying, I'm happy. I would highly look into the 10, Michael. If you haven't shot a 10, man, they are sweet. And my recommendation, if you're going to go with a 10mm, I'd go with the Glock 20. The Glock 20 is probably the best 10mm out there. The Alaskan tour guides use that. I also have a Sig Sauer P320 compact in 10mm. I have a Springfield Ronin 1911 in 10mm. 10mm is an awesome cartridge. It's most powerful semi-automatic cartridge you can get, excluding the Desert Eagle. Okay, Ray, about cleaning. How often and how should cleaning gun look? Okay. I clean my guns every time I go shooting, whether I put 1 round or 100 rounds through them. It's personal choice. If you don't shoot them, I would clean them every couple months and Make sure they're well oiled, obviously not the inside of the barrel. And, take them down as far as you can, oil the slide, etc. And while you're doing that, I like to rotate the magazines out every couple of months. And Michael, 1911 in 10 millimeter is awesome. I have the Springfield Ronin. That is a 1911 in 10 millimeter. And, I say this all the time. You can't beat the trigger on a 1911. Whether it's a $300 1911 or a $1,000 1911, that trigger is the best out of the box. And even a bad 1911 trigger will always be better than a striker fired. But cost-wise, the Ronin is about $800-900. Glock is very reliable, obviously, and Glock 20 is just one of my best shooting guns. It's my wife's favorite gun. She shoots that very well. 10 millimeter is definitely very manageable. A lot of people read too much crap on the internet. All right, Ray, I'm going to answer your question honestly. In my opinion, 10 millimeter is probably one of the best cartridges out there, but it's not for everybody. I don't tell people you should buy a 10 millimeter. What you should do is, they have one at the range, or you have a friend that's got one, try it for yourself first. Yes, there is recoil on it, but it's not going to hurt you, and it's not that bad. Like I said, my wife shoots my 10 millimeter just as good as anybody else. Thing I like about the 10 millimeter cartridge is it'll stop anything on 2 legs or 4. It's great for bear or large game. But the recoil isn't that bad. However, I will admit that even though I prefer the 10 millimeter and I like to carry it, for subsequent follow-up shots, I will never be as accurate with a 10 millimeter as I will with a 9. It's just, you shoot the 9, you get very little recoil. It's like this, right? You shoot the 10 and you get a lot of recoil, and it's almost like having to re-sight the gun again. But it is manageable, and I like it. It's a fun cartridge, and another nice thing about the 10 millimeter is you could shoot 40 caliber out of it. Why any of the gun manufacturers are still making 40 caliber is beyond me. I think 40 caliber is just stupid when you can shoot 40 caliber out of a 10 millimeter and get the best out of both worlds. 10 millimeter better than 45. I always have a problem with the better. I mean, the best caliber is what you shoot best with, and it's all about shot placement. 45 obviously won 2 world wars. It's definitely a man stopper. If anything, the 10 millimeter is going to give you more penetration, and the 45 is going to give you a bigger hole and more blood. So that's kind of relative. If you had to go by power and you compare the gel test, the 10 millimeter is going to penetrate deeper than the 45. But believe me, you wouldn't want to be on the receiving end of either. I also love the 45. The 45 is definitely more manageable than the 10 millimeter, if that's a consideration. However, if you want to use it for hunting or for bear, I don't think the 45 is going to have the penetration that the 10 millimeter has. If you're hunting bear, the bear has a tremendous amount of fat and muscle. A 9 millimeter and a 45 are not getting through that. Yes, and I said that, Michael. Shot placement is everything, depending on what you're shooting. If you're shooting a bear, uh, I'm I'm sorry, 9 millimeter is not going to cut it. 45 probably won't either. But as far as a human being goes, like I don't recommend people carrying anything less than a 9. But if you have a 380 or a 22 and you shoot it well, you know, that'll work too. Yeah, I mean, I agree, Michael. I mean, I wouldn't use a handgun as my only gun. And let me rephrase this: if we're talking about hunting a bear, I absolutely agree with a rifle. But if you have a if you're not hunting and you're just backpacking through the woods, um, a 10 millimeter will definitely do the job. I mean that was my point. You're not going to go hiking with a rifle on you. Uh, to answer your question, Ray, I highly doubt that the 9 millimeter is going to work against a bear unless you shoot him between the eyes. There's just so much fatty tissue and muscle on the bear that would not be my weapon of choice. Um, I'd love to have a rifle, but I mean, if you were just, hiking in the woods and you had a 10 millimeter, it's going to give you a much better chance than a 9 will. That's for sure. And you better make sure that you hit it the first shot because, if they charge you, you're probably only going to get one, maybe 2 rounds. And I agree, Michael. It would be 10 millimeter, I would say, would be the minimum. Uh, 44 Magnum would be ideal, but everybody doesn't own a 44 Magnum. And, you know, ammo is expensive, etc. 308 is definitely capable and definitely 12 gauge with a slug. That's for sure. But again, if you're hunting, that's one thing. You're not going to just like be walking around in the woods carrying a rifle with you. You know what, Ray? Go out and get yourself a 10 millimeter pistol for bear. Um, like I said, it does have recoil. I mean, you're going to know that you shot something, but it's not going to hurt you, and it's nothing to be afraid of. And like I said, um, my wife shoots my Glock 20 10 millimeter very well, and she's never once complained about the recoil. Matter of fact, I think she shoots my 10 millimeter better than she shoots her 9 millimeter Smith and Wesson equalizer. And anytime near Ray, I'm glad I could help. That's why I do these live streams. I love the interaction with you guys. I love to be able to answer questions. Yeah, pepper spray is just a seasoning. That is correct, especially on a windy day when you get the pepper spray in your own face. And that's the problem, and they recommend bear spray, right? And if you're approached by a bear and you only have one shot and you're using pepper spray versus a gun, um, mm, I'd rather take my chances with a 10 millimeter than pepper spray. Because even if you shoot them in the leg or in the chest with a 10 millimeter, maybe enough to scare them off. I'm not sure pepper spray is going to scare them, especially if you miss. Um, and the other problem with pepper spray is People go out and buy pepper spray and they don't practice with it. I mean, you got to practice with pepper spray just like you dry fire your gun. You need to know how far it squirts. You need to know how wide the pattern is. Going out in the woods against a bear for the first time is not how you want to try to figure out how the pepper spray works. But this is some good dialogue. I love this stuff. Again, any of you guys have any more questions, I'd love to answer them. I just love doing this stuff. I love discussing firearms. I've been involved with firearms for over 40 years since I was a kid, and my dad taught me how to shoot a 357 Magnum and 45 Long Colt, and it's just in my blood. I just love this stuff. And for those who just joined us, we do this live stream every Saturday afternoon at 12 noon Eastern time. So feel free to join at any time. What would I choose, a rifle or a shotgun, and which caliber? That's a tough question. I mean, they're both very capable. If I was going to use a shotgun, it would definitely be 12 gauge. And a rifle, personally, I like the 308 or the 30-06. And yeah, Michael, I've been shooting since the 60s. And like I said a few times, it's not that I'm against the 9mm. It's just that a long, long time ago, when my dad taught me to shoot, and I learned how to shoot a 357, a 45 Long Colt, I just never had any interest in the 9. It just seemed like it was going backwards. But 9mm is a perfectly viable option. It does a great job. 9mm has also evolved a lot over the past 10 years with cartridges, especially now that you can get 147 grain. So there's nothing wrong with 9mm. Absolutely not. It's just, I just don't personally care for it. And welcome, Patrick. If you haven't already done so, I'd appreciate it if you can subscribe to our channel. And yeah, like I said, a lot of people carry 9mm. And welcome, Patrick. I actually carry the Hornady Critical Defense as well in my 9s. My 45 ACP, I carry Talon, and I carry the Hornady in my 10mm as well. And the Hellcat is a great gun. I have the Hellcat Pro, and that is one of my favorite guns. I got to be honest with you. I got it at a great price. I got the Gear Up package that came with 5 magazines in the range bag. It's optic ready. And I like that it's a micro compact. So with the Hellcat Pro, you're getting all the features that you would with a full-size duty gun with a micro compact footprint. I like the adaptive grip texturing. I like that it's got the tritium front night sight. It's a lot of gun for the money, so good for you, Patrick. It's a good choice. And I'm sorry I can't answer that question, Michael. I'm not familiar with the Lehigh monolithic ammo. Typically, if I'm not shooting my own ammo, I'm either shooting Blazer or Arms Corps or Federal. Um, I just, when I'm at the range, I just buy the cheapest ammo I could buy, um, or I, shoot my reloads. Um, and for carrying, I just really like the Hornady Critical Defense. SIG makes nice ammo too. And I'm sorry, Patrick, I'm not familiar with the D9 hollows. I just basically stick with works, and I've always liked the Hornady Critical Defense, and that's what I use. And one thing to mention: a lot of people go to the range and they shoot the cheap crap, but you also need to, when you go to the range, shoot the ammo you're going to be carrying, because you need to know how your gun is going to respond with the ammo you carry. And it's going to respond much differently with hollow points than it will with full metal jacket. So let me see if I can. Okay, Ryan. I had a Glock 22 at one time, and I like it a lot. But to be honest with you, back in the day when I got that, 10 millimeter was almost obsolete. But now I don't see any point in the 40 caliber. I got rid of my Glock 22 and bought the Glock 20 and 10 millimeter. Just my 2 cents. If it was me, I'd go with the 10 millimeter all day, and you could always shoot 40 caliber out of it. And when people say that 40 caliber is almost the same as 10, absolutely not. They've never shot a 10 millimeter. You shoot them both side by side with full blown ammo. That 10 millimeter is a lot more powerful than 40. I've never had any problems chambering my critical defense. Also, Sig Sauer makes a Sig punch ammo that's pretty good as well. I've never had a problem though with any of my ammo. But it is a good point for a new gun owner, or when you purchase a new gun, don't go out and buy a shitload of hollow points. Find out what the gun shoots best. You may wind up shooting 5 or 10 different brands before you find out what your gun likes. Okay, Patrick. Here, you know what? I've answered this question a million times about the P320. I'll be honest with you, I think it's all bullshit. If that was true, Sig Sauer would be out of business. I own a Sig P320. I own it in 9 millimeter. I own one 45. I own one 10 millimeter, and I appendix carry, and I still have both of my nuts. Guns don't just go off. Now, granted, I'm not saying that the Sig P320 may not fail the drop test. That's a different story. But for just going off, I watched a video, and maybe I'll add it to my channel, where they did tests. It is almost physically impossible for the Sig P320 to just go off. And most of those incidents are law enforcement. And to be honest with you, 9 out of 10 of the worst shots and the people that are worse with handling firearms are law enforcement. And I'm betting you any money those errors are human errors that resulted from holstering or reholstering a firearm with a holster that's not made specific to the gun. Another bad thing that people started doing is putting lights on their firearm, which is stupid. When you add a light to your gun now, it requires the holster to be wider, okay? And then you get more crap stuck in the holster. And that leads to more crap stuck in the trigger guard. But unless you're Alec Baldwin, guns don't just go off. I've never, in 40 something years, my guns have never just gone off all by themselves. So, um, you know, is it possible that it's happened a few times? Yes. But I'm sure that there's even been negligent discharges with Glocks. And to answer your question, Michael, do I use red dots on my carry guns? Yes. Um, if you would have asked me that question a year ago, I would have said absolutely not. But they definitely have a place. Um, it definitely makes target acquisition uh, much quicker, but it takes training. I mean, I'm old school, and if you've been using iron sights for a long time, you may find that using an optic is just like the cat chasing the laser pointer. It's all over the place, and you should know how to shoot both. I wouldn't just go put a red dot on and count on that. You should still know how to shoot with irons, because if the red dot fails, you're still going to need to know how to shoot. So if you're old school, Michael, and you shoot irons, you'll probably be like I am and found the red dot a little challenging. It's probably easier for someone who's never shot before, but with a little bit of practice, the target acquisition is quicker. It's much easier, and it's because there's only one focal point. All you worry about is the dot. You don't worry about the sight alignment, sight picture, and all of that nonsense. And you just put the dot on the target and pull the trigger. Now, if you don't have one yet, Michael, one thing I will say that I learned is that I have astigmatism. And if you have astigmatism, you may find a red dot doesn't look that good for you. A green dot is much better. And you're entitled to your opinion there. Revolvers are king. As long as you can co-witness your sights, I don't see any reason why you wouldn't want to have a red dot. All the competition shooters are using red dots. Yeah, so Michael, again, if you don't own a red dot, I would highly recommend going with the green dot. I noticed the green dots work much, much better if you have astigmatism. So while we're on red dots, Ryan, I've done reviews on some of the lower cost red dots, and I got to tell you, watch my reviews on the Zulisi Optics. Zulisi Optics red dots for 100 and change. I will put them up to my Holosun 507 any day. Any day. It's a perfect example of you don't need to overpay to get a good quality product. I like the Zulisi Optics. I put them on almost every gun I own. The only gun that I still have a Holosun 407K on is my Hellcat Pro. But check out my videos on Zulisi Optics. They have optics for almost any footprint, and that is the brand. The brand is Zulisi. They have different models depending on the optic cut. They make them for RMR. They make them for RMSC. They make them for Doctor. Watch my videos. I've reviewed them all. The link is in the description. You could check them out. Matter of fact, I just put a Zulisi optic. I got the Zulisi Otter Pro, and I just put that on my Ruger RMX yesterday. You definitely want to check them out, Ryan. I tell you, you won't be disappointed. I've tried a lot of different budget optics. There's other than the price, there's nothing budget about a Zalissi optic. Um, Aluminum housing, glass lens, crystal clear, uh, 10 daytime, 2 nighttime settings, shake awake feature. The battery is side mounted. So, yeah, I do, Ryan. Matter of fact, I'm carrying my RXM today with the new Zalissi Otter Pro I put on it. Um, in my opinion, I think the RMX is by far the best 9mm for the money you can buy. Uh, it's not that much more money than a Taurus, especially now. I've seen the um, RMXs for about, uh, I don't know, $360. They're optic ready, front tritium night sight. They did a phenomenal job. Magpul did with the grip, um, front and rear serrations, flared magwell, and top that off. That's not enough. It's Glock Gen 3 compatible, so you could use your Glock mags and your Glock holsters. Um, that is a hell of a lot of gun for $360. Matter of fact, and another bonus is that they did what Sig Sauer and Springfield did, is they made the fire control group serialized, so that it's modular. You can buy grip modules and slides and frames and barrels without going to an FFL, and that is huge. And for the money, I wouldn't even go waste my money on a Palmetto State dagger. When you're getting a Ruger that's made in the USA with a lifetime warranty, and you add it all up, it's just it's tough to beat. I got to tell you, I'm waiting for Magpul. Magpul's in the process of releasing a full-size grip module and a subcompact grip module. I'd love to get my hands on the full-size grip module. That'll make it equivalent to the Glock 19X. I love the Glock 19X because it's got the full-size grip module with the compact slide, and that'll allow me to do the same thing with the 19X. Yeah, I go to Magpul's site every week, Ryan, hoping that they're going to release them and keep saying coming soon. And even though I'm already on the list, every week I put my email address in like magic, hoping I'm going to get a notification. But I'm going to probably get the full-size grip first, and then I'll get the subcompact. But I like the fact that you can use the Glock mags. I've never been a fan of the Magpul P-Mags. I've never actually had a bad experience with them. I just question how they're going to hold up long term because they don't have metal lining like the Glock mags do. So for carrying my RXM, I do use a genuine Glock magazine. That's just me. Like I said, I've never experienced a failure with the P-Mags. I'm just not a big fan of them. And like I said, we do these streams until 1 o'clock, but if people are going to ask questions, I will let it run a little longer. Yep, even with the iron sights, the RMX is a good shooter. I got to tell you, the RMX shoots just as good as my Glock 19X. So, and I wouldn't go out now. I mean, now that the RXM is out, I wouldn't even go and get a Taurus anymore for a cheap gun. Especially, when you spend the extra money on the Toro to put an optic on it, there's not that much difference in price, and you're getting a gun that's made in the USA with a lifetime warranty. Rugers are built like tanks, and the quality of Taurus is hit or miss. I've never had a problem with them, but some people have had a lot of problems with them. And if you're going to buy a Taurus, it's a good thing they have a lifetime warranty because you're probably going to need it at one point. And you have a good evening as well, Ryan. Thank you so much for joining our live stream. Anyone else has any questions or anything they want to discuss, feel free to type them in. I'll let this run a little longer. Otherwise, I'll wrap this up shortly. And for those who just joined, we do this live stream every Saturday at 12 noon Eastern. And you have a great day as well, Michael. Thank you so much for joining our stream. And if you haven't done so, please subscribe. I'd appreciate that. Yeah, I got to tell you, Ryan, Taurus is just hit or miss. And unfortunately, they got a bad rap. They turned out a lot of crap in Brazil in the 80s. And they've addressed a lot of those issues. And I got to tell you, I personally have never had a problem. Taurus revolvers, in my opinion, are great quality revolvers for the money. You can't beat them. It's just the semi-automatics are touch and go sometimes. And to answer your question, Ray, yes, I am a certified NRA pistol instructor. I'm also NRA certified for personal protection inside the home firearm safety, refuse to be a victim. And I'm also a Tennessee state certified instructor. Yeah, the Raging Bull is nice. I have a Taurus 357 tracker with the ported barrel. That's a great gun as well. Taurus always made good revolvers. It's almost impossible to make a bad revolver. Rossi also makes a good quality revolver, and Rossi and Taurus are basically the same company now. But yeah, for the money, I would always trust the Taurus revolver. Like I said, it's their semi-automatics that are touch and go. I haven't had any problems, but I do know a lot of people that had trouble with the Taurus semi-autos, especially when they had the PT 24/7 series. There were a lot of failures with those. I don't worry about that, Ray. You can't worry about stuff like that, or you'll just wind up being paranoid. And besides, in Tennessee, almost everybody carries a gun. And my classes are private classes anyway, so I actually know who will be coming. I don't really have strangers coming off the street, so, and I don't own the gun range. There's a range I go to, so that's actually their liability and responsibility, not mine. I wish Gun Owners of America had their own certification, because I find them to be a much better organization than the NRA. The NRA does sell us out sometimes, and in my opinion, Wayne LaPierre should be in jail for all the money he's embezzled from NRA members. And Sarath, hello to you too. Welcome to our live stream. If you haven't done so, please subscribe to the channel. I'd appreciate that. What is my favorite gun? Well, I got a lot of guns. If I had to pick one, I'd probably have to pick one in each caliber. So I'll give you that. My favorite 10 millimeter is my Glock 20. My favorite 45 caliber is my Colt Government model. My favorite 9 millimeter is my Springfield Echelon. So, the more guns you get, the harder it is to pick a favorite, because every time you get a new gun, it's your favorite gun till the next one. But I've proved over time that's actually not true. Um, the more you shoot them, you'll find yourself going back to certain guns. And I don't have any safe queens. Even though I have a lot of guns, I do carry every one of them from time to time. I usually carry specific guns most of the time, but I do eventually carry them, even my revolvers. Um, my take on it is if it's a gun that I don't think is worthy of carrying, then there's no point in owning it. I don't own a gun just to keep it in the safe. If I wouldn't carry it, that means I don't think it's that great of a gun, and I get rid of it. I trade it in for something else, and I do that every now and then. I'll trade in a couple guns and get something better. But I'm almost at the point now where I really don't have any guns I'm willing to part with. Yeah, I'm looking at the Henry Big Boy 357 Magnum there, Ryan. And Keep Survival Alive, welcome. Funny you should ask how I feel about the Umarex CO2 guns. I've done reviews on them. Please subscribe to my channel and watch the reviews. I own a couple of those Umarex guns, the Glock 19 and the Glock 17. They're great guns. To be honest with you, I use them as training guns because I like the fact that you get the blowback with the CO2 cartridge. They're also a lot of fun to dick around in the backyard with. They're great quality, and they're made under the supervision of Glock. Matter of fact, if you took one of the Umarex guns and put it next to a Glock, you can't even tell the difference. So, if you do something stupid with the Umarex gun, you're probably going to get shot because a cop is not going to be able to tell that it's a BB gun. Why is there so much hype around the Glock, and are they that good? I'll give you the hype. There's either Glock lovers or Glock haters. And Glock basically set the bar for polymer frame striker fired guns 30 years ago. Okay. Most of the law enforcement agencies use Glock, and they have the reputation that they're going to go bang every time, and they will. But as time progressed, there's a lot of other guns out there that are just as good, if not better than Glock, and they're going to go bang every time you pull the trigger too. And I own a lot of Glocks, but in my opinion, they're very dated. Yes, I absolutely trust them. But at this day and age, there's a lot of other guns that are, they're going to go bang, and I'm going to trust them with my life too. And I think at that price range, I think Glock is just not as innovative as everyone else is. I mean, they haven't changed really in 30 years. So if that answers your question, yes, they are good, but there's a lot of other guns out there in that price range that are just as good, if not better. And I know I digressed, and I apologize for that, but I get like that when I talk about guns and apparently a lot of other things because I do have ADHD. Yeah, in Europe, it's probably a political thing. Maybe they don't like Austria as much as they like Czechoslovakia. Um, there's nothing wrong with a CZ either. Um, it's just a personal choice. You can't make a mistake or go wrong with a Glock. keep survival alive. Another thing about the Umarex, I shoot the Umarex, the black steel BBs with them, and it's a great training tool. And I had a company send me these clay target holders, and my wife and I every once in a while put them up in the backyard. It's a pisser to just shoot the clay targets with the Umarex, and especially if you live in an area where you can't shoot a firearm, it's a good training tool. We're allowed to shoot in our backyard, so it doesn't matter. But anyone have anything else they want to ask or say to the group? It is 1:17. I'll end this at 1:20. Give you a couple minutes to catch up. Otherwise, we'll end the stream. For those who have just joined the stream, again, we do this every Saturday, 12 o'clock noon Eastern. I love having the interaction with all you guys, so I appreciate you joining. You know what? Even though you don't need a permit to buy one of those Umarex guns, you should probably be charged, the same as you would carrying a regular firearm. Police aren't going to know. Nobody's going to know. And I got to tell you, even if it's a kid, if somebody pointed one of those Umarex at me, I'm going to shoot them. You can't tell that it's a fake gun. So if somebody does something stupid with it, there could be some severe consequences. And again, you guys could be doing a lot of other things on a Saturday afternoon, so I appreciate you spending some time with me here on the live stream. I really enjoyed the interaction with you guys. Some of the bigger channels, they forgot how they got big, and it was because of the small guys. So you guys support me, and I like to do this to support you guys as well. All right, guys, I've really enjoyed it. It was a lot of fun. Again, we do this every Saturday at 12 noon Eastern. Thomas Simmons, good day to buy a weapon. It's always a good day to buy a weapon, brother. So you joined us late. We normally do this from 12 noon till 1 o'clock. So we're going to be ending this stream now. But we do this stream every Saturday at 12 noon Eastern. So feel free to join every Saturday. Definitely appreciate it. Subscribe to the channel. Make sure you like all our videos. Watch as many as you can. Leave comments. That's how we get pushed out into more search engines, and we get more monetizations to buy firearms to review for you guys. So you have a good day as well, Thomas. Thank you so much. Love you guys. Till next time. Thanks for watching.